Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. You guys can follow me on Instagram at AIH underscore sports. Alrighty, getting to the topic now. I saw this on Black and White Sports on YouTube, and they're talking about Peyton Manning and the game yesterday. I believe he does commentary on ESPN2 with his brother Eli, and I think Brett Favre was on it as well. And he was talking about how he believed at, I believe it's the Patriots Stadium, Gillette Stadium. He thought that Belichick and company were spying via audio in the locker rooms. And he was paranoid about that, so he had to not talk in the locker room about football and he had to go elsewhere. And you may be saying, okay, what does this have to do with sports cards? That's a good question. The thing is, when we are investing in sports cards, we have to be aware of potential cheating and players that may be associated with it, where the news may have not come out. When I was younger, I was a huge Sammy Sosa fan. You see this banner here? I always talk about it. I always wear Cubs gear, or a lot of times. And at the time when I was in sixth grade, I didn't realize Sammy Sosa was on steroids. And it was an amazing summer. He had 66 home runs. McGwire had 70 home runs from my memory. And it was just an amazing summer. And the other thing was, I did remember they were talking about HGH. HGH was not illegal at the time. I did not think that steroids were a big part of it. Now, my mind began to change when Jose Canseco wrote a book. He basically ratted out his buddy. I forget what was the duo's name when they're with the Oakland A's with La Russa as manager. Anyways, he ratted him out. He said that McGwire used roids. He used roids. He accused Alex Rodriguez of steroids. And then began the Mitchell Commission, where I think it's George Mitchell. He did an investigation of alleged steroid use in the MLB. And I remember Sammy Sosa, of all people. Sammy Sosa said, "Me no speak English." That's what he basically said. And he could clearly speak English, even though he has an accent. He needed an interpreter. So I just found that quite entertaining. Regardless, the year after, Sammy Sosa, or I think in 2004, he dropped a lot of weight when he was with the Orioles. And I remember Chip Caray, who was the announcer for the Cubs, he didn't want to say it explicitly. He said, you got to look at Sammy Sosa. He just dropped a lot of weight. I wonder why. That's what he basically said. So it was quite interesting with all that going on. And for those that were investing in sports cards at the time, the Sammy Sosa and McGwire cards, I'm pretty sure, were worth quite a bit. But once that cheating came out, all that news about it, the McGwire cards tanked, Sosa cards tanked. And I remember when I was in 6th, 7th grade, I thought I had a McGwire rookie, and someone said, nah, it's not a McGwire rookie. But that was the thing back then. And now going back to what I was saying earlier on with the Patriots and the alleged cheating, you have to remember they were busted spying on the Jets practice with Mangini as the coach, from my memory. You had the deflated ball scandal. It didn't really affect the Patriots. I believe they went to the Super Bowl and won that year. There were a few other things as well with the Patriots. And I always felt that Bill Belichick, as good of a coach he is a bit shady. Now, in terms of investing for some of these guys on the Patriots, will it make a difference? I don't think so. For Brady, he won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers at the age of 44. Or, yeah, I think it's 43, 44. And on a banged up knee where he needed off-season surgery. And he beat Mahomes, he beat Rodgers, he beat Breeze, and that was all on the road. And it was really intense what Brady had to do. I think the Super Bowl was in Tampa, but putting that aside, you didn't have fans in the stadium because of COVID. But all of this going on, it just makes me wonder, and especially going through the McGuire Sosa time, I personally do not want to put too much money in one particular player, even if they have a Hall of Fame career like Tom Brady. And personally, I don't think Tom Brady will be affected by all of this news. Like I said, he's won 7 Super Bowls. He had that comeback against Atlanta. But in regards to other players, I am a bit wary. For instance, I was investing in Verlander cards. I sold most of the Verlander cards. And he was with the Astros when they won a World Series ring. And he went to the World Series again, I believe, the year after. And we know that there was a lot of hanky panky going on, especially with the hitters. And those people that were invested in Altuve and Bergman, the list goes on and on and on, those values most likely went lower. I don't have the particular data, but if I were to guess, people didn't want to invest too much in those players. And if you wanted to look before this season happened, the 2021 season, a lot of people wanted to look at all-star pitchers like Gerrit Cole. And Gerrit Cole is still having a good year, by the way. I think he's 15-8. He got rocked in his last start, based on what I saw. He has a 3 ERA, which is okay, 15-8. From my memory, his spin rate was pretty darn good before they got rid of foreign substances this year. And once they got rid of those foreign substances, Gerrit Cole struggled. And for a long-term investment in Gerrit Cole, I wouldn't want to do it because his spin rate is not going to eclipse what it was in Houston when he was most likely using these foreign substances. And if you want to look at Trevor Bauer, and I did a video about him, and that definitely took people the wrong way. But I'm not going to comment on that video. Trevor Bauer had a pretty darn good year last year. But before his last game, before he was suspended for the year, his spin rate went down, dramatically down on his fastball because he wasn't allowed to use those foreign substances that he allegedly used. So I see a lot of people in the sports card arena, they are very aggressive sellers. They are flippers. They're not mainly long-term holders in terms of investing. I get it, some people want to collect. I'm not really talking about the collecting end. I'm talking about the investing end. And if they are getting into these guys for aggressive flips, you got to understand, like, did this person cheat? And the thing is, sometimes what people may do is before or once they sign a big contract because their year before they had a phenomenal year, people may start to put big money into those guys. In my opinion, that also may be a mistake because I was told by a friend of mine that what happens is during the free agency year, the pitchers, they take all these painkillers to try to pitch amazing or to hit amazing. And the next year comes, they are on the injured reserve list. I remember Yu Darvish with the Cubs. He was injured for the year. Strasburg, he pitched amazing during the World Series run a few years ago. He was injured for the whole year. I could go on and on and on and on. And then with Trevor Bauer now, even though this wasn't mainly an injury related thing, it was more off the field issues. He allegedly used foreign substances to increase his spin rate for his fastball. Did pretty good with the Reds last year, from my memory. And with the Dodgers, he was doing okay, and then now he's shut down. So when it comes to investing in some of these guys, I'm not going to be very aggressive in one player. I did make some aggressive bets in 2019, but I spent no more than, I believe, $2,000 on one single player. While some people may think that's a lot of money, but if you have put tens of thousands of dollars in this hobby, it's not too much. I think the most that I've spent on a card was a Drew Brees card. I think it was $1,800 for an individual card, but for some players, if I look at all the cards I bought, I don't think I spent more than $2,000. But I could be wrong. I may do a video on that, on the most expensive card that I've spent on. But anyways, guys, what do you think about these cheaters? Does it stop you from pouring a lot of money into one particular player? Do you even look into this? Let me know. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below, guys. Thanks. Bye.